Hello, everyone. Good day. I'm Sunita Nair here. I manage Tavant Center of Excellence for Encompass, and I am based out of Fairfax, Virginia. Welcome to Tavant's Disclosure Automation webinar today. I'm super excited to be here and appreciate your time and joining us today. And thank you, everyone. Joining me today for the webinar is also Shane Terrell. He is our product lead and Encompass expert here at Tavant. Along with Shane, we have Arjun Nayak. He's our business architect and subject matter expert. And we are super excited to bring in our disclosure automation solution. We have been discussing for quite some time the productivity challenges we've had with the Encompass clients face today, and also the challenges we have disclosing the loans manually. So we've been talking to several of our loan officers and clients, and we have developed an efficient disclosure automation process, which is an ICE and LE certified solution. And we are super excited to be presenting that today. During the demo, we will go over the benefits and the business use cases specific to your business and how it can really add value. And before we end the disclosure automation demo, we also have a surprise for you all. We'll be doing a raffle where we are giving away an Apple iPod for our lucky winner. So we really appreciate you guys sticking along here and listening to what we have to offer. And after the demo, we will also have a Q&A session, and we look forward to answering a lot of your questions during that time. So without further delay, I am going to hand over the first segment of our webinar to Arjun Nayak, who is going to demo the integration of our disclosure automation solution to Tavant's FinExperience platform, which is a point of sale system. So I'm going to hand it over to Arjun and have him walk you all through what that demo looks like. So over to you, Arjun.
Thank you, Sunita. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar on disclosure automation. My name is Arjun Nayak, and I'm live from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. So today, my focus is going to be explaining how loan officers can use the disclosure automation solution to send out the initial disclosures or the loan estimate, right? Before I jump into the actual demo, I would like to highlight three key benefits of this particular solution. The first benefit is, of course, it saves a lot of time, right? So the reason it saves a lot of time because we have simplified the solution. We have automated many of the tasks, right? The second key advantage of this particular solution is there are built-in pre-validation checks, and also there is a Mavent check involved. So this ensures that as a loan officer, I'm sending out the disclosures that are accurate and that are compliant, right? And the third criteria where this is very advantage is the lot of manual tasks that were involved in sending disclosures are automated, right? So I'll focus on all these three advantages as I go through the demo. All right. So for the demo, the platform that you are seeing on my screen is a FinExperience platform for the loan officers, and we have integrated this FinExperience platform to the disclosure automation solution, right? So here is the use case. Here I'm talking as a loan officer, right? So let's assume that as a loan officer, I invited my client to fill the loan application for us, right? And the client went ahead and filled the application in the consumer platform, right? So as a loan officer, I have reviewed this loan file. As you can see that all the information that is required to trigger an application date is available for this particular loan. So if I click on important dates section here, you will see that there is an application date. There is an application date and the LE is due on 4/1, right? And the client has also provided an e-consent. So we do have an e-consent on this particular loan. Okay. So what I did is, as a loan officer, I reviewed the loan file, right? I plugged in the missing information. I corrected the information wherever required. The e-consent is available on this particular loan, right? Then what I did was I discussed the various pricing scenarios with my client, and I proceeded to, I discussed the solution, the pricing scenario, and I proceeded to either float or lock this particular loan. Okay. And then because this is a full doc loan, I proceeded to run GAC, DU and LPA. And then I also ran fee services just to ensure that all the 2015 itemization is fit. Okay. So now what's happening is that this loan file is ready for sending disclosures, right? So all I have to do as a loan officer is just click on initiate disclosure. Before we actually send disclosure, it is very important that we need to do a pre-check. We need to ensure that the loan file is compliant and all the mandatory and conditionally required fields are filled, right? So how do I do that? So all I have to do is click on validate loan. Okay. So what this does is it presents you a dynamic form. For me as a loan officer, it presents a dynamic form and it lists down all the required and conditionally required fields that I have to complete in order to send disclosures. Okay. So basically what's happening is one single form for all my validation issues. Now there are two key advantages here. Advantage one is I do not have to go to 10 different forms to fix the validation issues. So that saves me a lot of time and the whole process is simplified. The second advantage here is that all the business rules that you are seeing, which is creating this dynamic form, is saved in Encompass or LOS, right? So the advantage here is that the lender can go ahead and make changes to the business rule. They can add, they can modify, they can delete the business rule without the need to do any code changes on the portal. All that would require on the portal would be a configuration change, right? So now as a loan officer, I'm ready to send disclosures on this loan. And the solution is telling me that I have to complete the 1003 signature date. So I'm going to select today's date. And the solution is also telling me that I have to enter the borrower's prior address, right? So what I'm going to say that the borrower is staying in the current address for 5 years. And I will click on validate loan. So now what's happening is that all this information is saved on a real-time basis to Encompass. And it will rerun all the validation rules and it checks whether the loan file is compliant to send disclosures. So we are just waiting for the data to save in Encompass and the solution to determine whether there are any validation issues. And now the solution has told me that, hey, there are no validation issues. You can go ahead and proceed to send disclosure, right? Now, all I have to do is just click on this button, initiate disclosure, and my work as a loan officer is done. I have requested disclosure on this loan, and I have full freedom to navigate outside this loan and work on a different loan, right? So behind the scene, what's happening is that the disclosure automation solution is picking this particular loan. It's applying the plan code. It's running a Mavent check, right? All of this is automated. It's running a Mavent check to do a final check whether the loan is compliant. It's generating the disclosure package and it's going to send out the disclosure package. And for me as a loan officer, I will get a notification as soon as the disclosure is sent. It takes about a couple of minutes to send out the disclosures, right? So we talked about pre-validation. We talked about the actual automation of sending the disclosure. Now, what happens after the disclosure is sent, right? So for this scenario, I have a test loan that I have created for which I have sent disclosures. So let me open this particular loan, right? So there are a couple of tasks that a loan officer would do after the disclosure is actually sent, right? The first task is to just evaluate or just to check what are the documents that are included in the disclosure package, right? So what we have created is a disclosure tracking screen. It's one screen where the loan officer can track all the activities related to the disclosure that is sent on this particular loan, right? So on this particular loan, I have sent out an initial disclosure, a loan estimate, right? And as a loan officer, I can see that there are certain informational documents, there are certain e-signed documents. So basically I can track all the documents that is sent on the disclosure package, right? I have a loan estimate and I also have the 1003, right? So we do have a 1003. So that means that the loan officer has to e-sign, right? The second task that the loan officer can do is e-sign from this particular application itself. Now, what that means is that as a loan officer, I do not have to swivel between multiple applications to do my disclosure tasks. I can do all the disclosure tasks, including the pre-validation, actual sending of disclosure, and e-signing of disclosure, and tracking the disclosure package from one single application. The other functionality that we currently have is, which we got from a lot of feedback from the loan officers, is as a loan officer, I would like to track what's happening in the disclosure package on a real-time basis. Has the borrower viewed it? Has the borrower signed it? And so on, right? So all the loan officer can do is just click on view disclosure history. And what this brings is a form, which is a real-time integration with DocuSign. And it tells me that the borrower has viewed it, has the borrower has opened it, has the borrower signed it, right? So just to summarize, this disclosure automation solution covers three components. The component one is the pre-validation. So the pre-validation checks to see if all the mandatory and conditionally required fields are populated. It also ensures that the loan is compliant for sending disclosures. The second step is the actual automation of sending disclosures, selecting the plan code, generating the disclosure package, sending the disclosure out to the consumer application. All of this is automated, right? And the third component of the solution is ability to e-sign as a loan officer and ability to track the disclosure history, right? So now I'll pass it on to Shane to discuss this solution in further detail. Over to Shane.
Great. Thanks, Arjun. The seamless integration of disclosure automation into Tavant's Fin Experience platform is really taking it to the next level. So, hi, everyone. This is Shane Terrell. I'm joining you from my home office here in Tampa Bay, Florida. I'm a senior Encompass developer with Tavant, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about Tavant's disclosure automation solution. So first and foremost, disclosure automation is the first and only disclosure and closing docs automation solution to be fully approved by ICE Mortgage Technology. So we've spent a great deal of time with ICE. They've reviewed the code, they've reviewed the functionality, the integration into Encompass, the smart client, next gen APIs. It's all been thoroughly reviewed, and we're actually on the marketplace now. So disclosure automation is custom built to integrate with Encompass, and it automates the sending of loan disclosures and closing docs to eliminate manual processes. It's customizable. We have customizable loan data audit, Mavent compliance engine, and lender-specific requirements to ensure consistent validations on your loans prior to disclosure. So with disclosure automation, you can rest assured that your borrowers will receive accurate and timely disclosures for e-signature. And that'll be either on ICE's Consumer Connect borrower portal, or as Arjun was showing, on Tavant's Fin Experience platform every time on every loan. Without getting too technical, I'll talk about the architecture for disclosure automation. And so disclosure automation leverages proven technologies and is fully scalable to meet your organization's needs as loan volumes increase. We've taken the disclosure process and we've made it really a technological problem. So if your volume doubles next year or next month, it's just a matter of computer resources to meet that need. And disclosure automation is also highly configurable, so we can integrate with your existing business processes. Some of the configuration options include the ability for disclosure automation to send automated emails, and those emails can go to specific users, groups, or even roles on a loan. So for instance, the loan officer or loan processor. And you can have users be notified via those emails if there's an issue on a loan, for instance, a Mavent validation issue or a data audit issue, or even just if a loan is locked by a user in the smart client, you can have an email go out so that you'll be sure that that issue can be resolved and the disclosures will go out accurately and on time. Along those lines, so we also have configuration options for the data audit and the Mavent compliance engine integration. So you can ensure that your loans are always being run against or validated against the standard data audits in Encompass in the smart client, as well as Mavent, if you'd like. And we can also configure for lender-specific validations. So if you have something that is specific to your organization and you need to ensure that certain conditions are met on a loan prior to disclosure, we can easily configure this solution to meet that need. We also have the ability for plan code conflict resolution. So that sounds confusing, but let's say you have a loan that's configured as a conventional, but it's set up as an ARM on the loan file, and you have a loan plan code, a disclosure plan code that is a conventional fixed rate. Well, there would be a discrepancy there. And you can control via this configuration how you'd like that issue to be resolved. Okay, so we also have the ability to integrate with ICE's paper fulfillment service. So if that's something that you're leveraging today to ensure that when necessary, there are paper copies of the disclosures going out to your borrowers, this solution is integrated with ICE paper fulfillment, so you can continue to leverage that while taking advantage of disclosure automation. And last but not least, for the configuration, we have the ability to configure e-consent requirements. So just as an example, if you wanted to configure that e-consent is always required prior to disclosure, it's really just a checkbox here in the configuration, and that can be enabled. And you can be assured that you won't have loans that are being disclosed prior to e-consent. Okay, so the custom input form that's shown here is something that would be accessible in the smart client to your users. And this would be the primary interface for submitting new orders to disclosure automation, as well as for monitoring activity of existing orders on a loan. The order screen provides a high-level overview of all disclosure automation orders for a loan. So you can see here, there's only one order on this test loan, but you can see it showing the borrower pair. So if you had multiple borrower pairs, it would be clear which borrower pair the disclosure was for, the disclosure type, so that we support the full loan lifecycle with disclosure automation. So that could be anything, including initial, redisclosure, prelim CD, the full closing package, and any post-consummation disclosures. And then you're also provided with a status here. So you can at a glance know, did it complete successfully? Was there some Mavent or data audit validation issue that needs to be resolved on the loan? It's very easy here to see the status and if anything needs to be updated on the loan. So along those lines, the details screen actually provides even more detailed information for an individual order. So in this sample, you can actually see on the first attempt at processing this order, the loan was locked by a user. It was locked by me in the smart client. And you can see an entry for that 3/7/3:58 p.m. As I mentioned briefly before, the system could be configured to send out an automated email for that scenario. So I could be notified quickly, get out of the loan so that disclosures can go out. And then in this example here, once I got out of the loan, the order processed successfully and there were no issues. But if there had been any validation issues, those would be broken out on this screen. You can see the data audit section. There is a section for if a specific disclosure fails to generate, and then also a section for any Mavent validation issues. And here on the log screen, this screen exposes granular logging for each action performed by disclosure automation. So you're in control. You can see every action step by step, what disclosure automation is doing to process your orders. You can see the plan code that it selected, if there are loan audit issues, even just the confirmation that the disclosures were sent to the borrower portal, that upload completed. So you're in control. Everything that is done by this solution is logged here. So we do also have a dashboard screen, and this allows users to monitor disclosure automation activity for all loans for a date range. And the status here is reconciled intelligently. So users will know at a glance which loans need to be reviewed. You can see we have one loan here where the status is completed. and then a second loan, issues detected. So if I double clicked on that issues detected on this screen, then I would be able to jump into the more detailed, more granular logging that I just showed to quickly determine what's the issue on the loan, what needs to be fixed, resolve it, and then the disclosures will go out. So it's really no mystery here, and it's very easy to keep track of what's going on with your orders. The screen was built specifically to assist disclosure desks or other users who need to be able to manage large pipelines without having to go into one loan at a time to see what's going on. Okay, so the benefits of disclosure automation, the solution can eliminate manual processes to free users to complete other work. Really, in the smart client, it's similar to what Arjun showed on Tavant's Fin Experience platform, where he was able to submit the disclosure automation order and then close the loan and open another loan to start working on that. So it's really freeing your users up to multitask versus what they would be doing today, which is watching disclosures generate in Encompass. And consistent validations and timely disclosures will also lower costs and improve accuracy on your loans. All right, well, as they say, the proof is in the pudding. So let's disclose some loans. I've requested initial disclosures for 5 loans and added real-time logging so we can watch disclosure automation do its work. I'll go ahead and start that now, and then I'll kind of narrate as it's going along to tell you what's happening. All right, so the process is just starting up now. It's detected the 5 loans that I put in queue. It's detected there are 5 loans that need initial disclosure. It's identified the best plan code match for each of those loans. It's applied the plan code to each loan, and now we're starting the loan audit validation. These are initial disclosures. So you have an LE, so it's confirmed that the LE date is the current date. And we're just waiting on the loan audit validations now. The first one actually just completed, and it's starting to generate that disclosure package. And now moving on to generating the documents for the other 4 loans. Okay, so at this point, there we go. So we have the document generation is completed, and we're actually sending those documents to the borrower portal now. For this test, it was sending to Consumer Connect, but as I mentioned before, we do have support out of the box for both ICE's Consumer Connect borrower portal, as well as Tavant's Fin Experience platform. So at this point, all of the validations are done. The documents have been generated. They've been uploaded to the borrower portal, to Consumer Connect. And we're actually just waiting for a confirmation that the borrowers have been emailed. So they'll have that notification to know to go on and e-sign. And for whatever reason, the emails take a few seconds. So I'll just skip ahead here a little bit. And there we go. We have the first few loans, now 3 actually, where the process is completed. And I believe we have just 1 left now. There we go. Okay, so all 5 loans have been disclosed. We're done. 5 loans disclosed in just over 2 minutes with extensive validations completed on each of those. Anyone who's familiar with Encompass knows it would have been difficult to validate and disclose 1 loan manually in the smart client in the same 2 minutes. And Tavant's disclosure automation solution can scale to juggle far more than 5 loans at once. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope you're as excited as I am about Tavant's industry-leading disclosure automation solution, and I look forward to hearing how disclosure automation can benefit your organization soon. Now back to Sunita to recap all the amazing benefits of Tavant's disclosure automation solution and our Fin Experience platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Arjun and Shane. Thanks. I'm sure everyone is as excited as we are after seeing that demo. So just to quickly recap what we did today on the call here, right? We demonstrated Tavant's readiness with ICE certified, LE certified solution, integration with Tavant's FinExperience POS platform. And this solution that we demoed today is in production. With our solution, we can stop the swivel that happens today in the life of a loan officer between POS and Encompass. We have enabled loan officers to fix errors and resubmit, leveraging a user-friendly GUI interface at a click of a button. Loan officers can work on disclosing multiple loans at the same time, which was challenging before. We can bring in all your customized rules today and integrate with our solution and make it available for your loan officers. We are fully certified by ICE Mortgage Technology for disclosure and closing doc automation platform, leveraging their APIs, and we are also on their marketplace. Last but not the least, we can also work with you to enable the cost and operational efficiencies you're looking to bring for your business operating model this fiscal year and make lives much better for your loan officers. So we are super excited and we look forward to hearing from you and look at opportunities to collaborate and partner with you to solve for your business challenge today. And before we open up the floor for Q&A, I would like to quickly go through that surprise raffle and see who is our lucky winner today. Ashish, over to you.
So, hi everyone. Sunita, you can choose between 30 to 70. Choose a number.
I will go with 35.
All right, let me check who's at number 35. Congratulations, Brian Capin. You are the lucky winner.
Yay, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Awesome. We will reach out to you, Brian, to collect your address, and we will, we are going to send the gift to you right after the webinar.
Excellent, thank you. We can go now to the Q&A sessions. Do we have any Q&As right now, Carrie? I'm bringing up my screen as well. Let's look at any Q&A you have right now. And we are going to stay here a little longer, so feel free to address any questions and chat us any questions you have. You'll have to chat us your questions and we will do our best to answer them. And if we can't, then we will definitely take it back and reach out to you. So feel free to ask any questions you have regarding our webinar and what we just went over. I see we still have a lot of active users, no questions yet, but we will continue to see if you have any questions. Okay, there is a question that just came up. Will this work in conjunction with Blend, or would it replace Blend if we currently are using Blend? Shane, I will point this question to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So currently we have support for ICE Consumer Connect and for Tavant's FinExperience platform as the point of sale options. But we are looking to add support for other LOSs and POSs going forward.
Thank you. Yeah, we absolutely have it in the roadmap, and we will be providing, some additional details as well. Yes, we are recording this demo. It looks like someone missed the demo, but we are absolutely recording the demo, and we'll be sharing the link with you all shortly. Okay, there is another question. Do you offer anything that pulls in and validates fee? For example, lender's title insurance, which varies by loan. I'm going to have Arjun address this question. You're on mute.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll have to understand the context of this, but just try to answer as much as I can. there are two ways I can see that we have resolved this. One is we do have integrations, built-in integrations with third-party fee service providers to get the fees, right? That's one. The second one is that when we went live with one of our lenders, so there's a lot of business rules and field validations that was built in Encompass, right? So what we do, our solution does is our solution is configurable enough to incorporate all the business rules that you already have in your LOSs. So we do not have to build all these integrations or all the business rules again in Portal, right? So if you have it already in your Encompass or in your LOSs, we can make our solutions work with your existing rules.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Arjun. There's another question, Shane, here. Will this work with Be Smarty?
I'm not sure what that is, actually. I would have to ask for some more information. But I would, I guess, go back to the previous statement that currently we have support for Encompass and Consumer Connect, as well as FinExperience as the platforms. But we are looking to expand that in the future.
Great. And Brian, we will definitely be in touch with you and we will try to address this much more deeply. So we will be reaching out to you. Do you have a PDF of the slides presented? Absolutely, we do. And we will share that as well. Thank you for asking that question. The next question we have is, do you have an interface that sends disclosures through Blend? Again, as far as the Blend interface goes, it's a part of our roadmap. We will be getting back to you guys with a timeline and when that's going to be available very soon. So stay tuned as we continue to share additional updates coming from this webinar. Thank you for that question. Anything else, anyone? We would love to answer more questions here. We are here, so feel free to address it. One other question from Colin. Do the documents flow back to the e-folder?
I'll take that if you don't mind, Sunita.
Sure, Shane, go ahead.
Yes, so absolutely. I didn't cover that in detail because we had some time constraints, but just briefly here, everything that you're accustomed to seeing in Encompass for a disclosure from the smart client would also apply to disclosure automation. So you'll have a disclosure tracking entry with all of the usual updates and data available there. And you'll also have your e-sign documents flowing back into the e-folder. I didn't mention actually one configuration option. So disclosure automation can be configured to add copies of the unsigned documents to the e-folder at the time of disclosure as well. So again, that's not something that happens as a standard, but it is just a checkbox, a configuration option there if that's something that would benefit your organization.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you, Colin, for asking that question. That was the last question I see on Q&A. We have a little bit more time, so anybody on the call, feel free to ask any questions you have. I'm pretty sure the benefits of what we demonstrated today, hopefully that came across really well for the audience. Feel free to reach out to one of us absolutely at any given time. If you need a much more deeper dive on our solution, we are more than happy to come and speak to you regarding our solution. And we absolutely need to make sure that this is something that works for your operating model, your needs, and the benefits. So we'll be more than happy to schedule any additional Q&A sessions or deeper dive with you guys. Okay, Carrie, were there any other questions that I'm missing? So one other question I see is, do you offer anything that pulls in and validates fee? For example, lenders, title insurance, which varies by loan.
I think we answered that, Smita.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and address it to others who might be interested in hearing as well? Oh, sorry, my bad. We just took that question, right? Yeah. My apologies. Got it. Sorry.
It looks like we have one other question, Sunita, regarding deployment. So if we have time, I can discuss.
Sure, absolutely. How soon can you deploy the solution? Go ahead.
Okay. So I didn't cover this in the PowerPoint also, just time constraints, but we can dig into it, one-on-one for more information. But just giving you the high level on deployment. So the intention is for disclosure automation to be lender hosted. We want to ensure that as an organization, you retain control of all of this data. Okay, so there would be various components required for this. There's an API layer, a database, there are services. And so at the minimum, there would need to be one server provisioned for this. That could be something in-house in your organization, or it could be on the cloud, AWS or Azure. And once that server is provisioned and we have the Encompass access, an account for Tavant to use for the purposes of deployment, we would be able to set up the backend and the Encompass configurations in 1 day. For 1 day, we can have this ready for QA testing in your environment.
Very good point. Thank you, Shane, for bringing that up. Deployment is extremely critical. We get asked that question all the time. How quickly can we deploy our solution and make it work in their operating model, right? So thank you for that. I really appreciate Shane, Arjun, and I totally appreciate your time here today, spending with us and sticking with our webinar. Hopefully you all found it useful. Please feel to reach out to me. Greatly appreciate your time and effort today. And we will be in touch for any further deep dive and Q&A. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.